Welcome to Market Day Report. All right, we've got a big day for you. A big day, really not a lot of trade information coming in yet. But again, that's kind of top of mind. What will be happening on the trade front out of Washington, D.C.? What is it? India, EU, UK, Vietnam's in there, Japan's in there. Yeah, so we'll be watching to see if there's anything coming out of D.C. today that could move the markets. All right, speaking of moving, let's move over to the corn market and overnight action. 5.5 higher on the July contract at 444, while the new crop overnight nickel higher 443.5. Soybean trade overnight session was higher. November 1026 3/4, up 5 1/4. Wheat market in the overnight action higher as well, up 540 in Chicago. Kansas City finished the overnight session at 538, up 1 1/4. And spring wheat, December 3 1/4 higher, 652 1/4. Cotton market in the overnight action was lower, down 63 at 67.90. All right, let's get ready for trade today. President of Midwest Market Solutions is Brian Hoops. All right, Brian, what will have your attention today?
Hey, good morning, Tony. It's a really light news session this morning. Just don't have a lot of things to talk about. No private export sales this morning. In fact, nothing this entire week. But, we're watching weather, which looks pretty good for most part. There was a lot of areas that have been dry recently, such as central Missouri, that received rain overnight. There was over 5 inches in Wichita last night that kind of moved across the east or the eastern part of Kansas into Missouri and across central Missouri, and that looks to move into southern Illinois area. So there may be some concerns about a little bit of planting delays in southern Illinois, Indiana areas, but I don't think that's real prevalent yet. Right now, technically, there's a double bottom on the December corn charts around that 434 area. That's seemingly giving us some short covering, and it's much needed as we were down until yesterday anyway, about 6 consecutive sessions. Still looking for maybe some more gains to come in place, but unless you have real adverse weather, I think you're looking at retracements as best case opportunities for both corn and soybeans. So, a lot of producers have been asking us over the last 30 days why July corn has dropped as much as it is. Our exports have been good. But if you look at our basis levels, they're not real strong in a lot of areas. South American basis has really imploded. It's really gone negative. We've seen prices drop over 40% in the last 30 days in Brazil, and that's because of that impending that harvest in Safrina. That's going to be a monster crop, probably 120 metric tons. That is going to have major implications, not only out of Brazil as far as our exports go, but here in the U.S., because it's likely to slow our U.S. exports during the summer months.
All right. Exports seems like that could be a hot topic for us, at least the rest of this week, probably for quite a while to come. All right, Brian, hang on. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about the livestock markets. What can we expect in the trade today? We'll find out. Market Day Report continues in a moment. Still no cash sales that we know of yet this week, so all eyes on what will happen there. That really could drive that live cattle market. Speaking of driving the market, yesterday the session ended with a lower trade, and that front month for June live cattle, $215.97. It was 57 lower, $1.25 lower on August at $209.75. Now, the feeders in the session yesterday also in lower territory. The August at 301.22, off 52, kept 300 in the September contract, but lost that one in the October. It settled 298.65. And then the hog trade yesterday made it 3 sessions higher. When we look at that August contract, 3 consecutive sessions higher. That's where the strength is. At 106.45, it was up 55, and that's how they'll start World Pork Expo today with those higher prices for the August. And finally, Class 3 milk futures lower in the trade yesterday. Brian Hoops is president, Midwest Market Solutions. Thoughts here on livestock?
Well, yeah, we look at the cattle market. It's going to be a war this morning between technicals, which are showing another outside reversal day on the charts and a potential double top on the October live cattle contracts versus the fundamentals, which are calling for higher cash trade once again. We're already discount to the cash markets. It's going to be kind of a real strong tug of war. Now, you can't underestimate the funds in here. When we've had these reversal days in the past, we've usually had a sell-off following, and we usually get some follow through, and it's fund liquidation. And I think that's likely to happen once again this morning and maybe the rest of this week. You just can't underestimate how long the funds are and how bad, if they want to get out of these markets, how bad the chart damage could be. So even though the fundamentals still very strong, we may have some technical selling starting to develop this morning after that bearish action yesterday. So it's I think you're probably going to see those spreads widen out even further, June versus August, June versus October, as we go into the delivery period next Monday for the June contract.
Okay, and then over on the pork side, 3 consecutive sessions higher. What's happening there?
Yeah, and August hit new highs for the move as well. So some very strong deferred contract buying, not much in the front month here in the June, July contracts, but August, October, to a lesser extent, December have all found some buying interest. Those deferred contracts very heavily discounted to the current cash markets. And trade may see that as too much of a discount and may want to start stepping in and doing some buying to try and narrow those spreads between the summer and the fall contracts.
Okay, biggest question of the day. Quick answer, Brian. Favorite cheese? What's your favorite cheese?
You got to go American. Absolutely.
There you
USA.
go.
There you go.
Brian Hoops with Midwest Market Solutions. Okay.